Morning, everybody. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, November 4th. Hey, we're going to be joined by most of our usual crowd today, Josh, Tom, and Lee. Start over. Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, November the 4th. Hey, the fall weather's hit us. It's getting cold, and we're going to hear from Tom, Lee, and Gentry to hear about their normal lakes. And then we got Wes Logan filling in for Josh, who's on a filming assignment this week. We'll be right back with what the guys have to say. Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, November the 4th. Hey, we're joined by Wes Logan, who's taking a break from getting ready for his nuptials on Saturday himself. Wes, let's talk a little bit of Logan Martin and Lay Lake since you're filling in for Josh Herron today. What's happening on Logan Martin?
Yeah, man, I think they're biting from the few reports that I've gotten from some buddies. I haven't been able to go myself, but definitely can cover some water. We're getting in that winter time, definitely in the fall now with the temperatures. The fish are really biting very good, moving baits, rattle traps, vibrating jigs, flat-sided crankbaits. They're probably moving into that, real shallow water where you can get in those flats. So a lot of times this time of year you can find some really big fish grouped up in some of those little deeper ditches around those flats. So might not be quite to that yet, but really be looking forward to that coming, with a little bit colder weather. Moving down the Lay, I think we're back up to normal pool now. You're going to be able to get a lot of bites up the river, I believe, on the riverbank, spinnerbait, jigs, stuff like that. And then down the lake, probably going to be more of like a top water on some flat point, seawall, stuff like that. And then obviously the famous grass bite should be picking back up. The more people that start deer hunting, you'll get a little bit less pressure on the lake, so that bite may definitely come back as well.
So you talk about flats. Are you looking at stuff just inside creeks? Are the fish going to really be pushing back there yet with the shad, or are we still going to be kind of looking at maybe some of that stuff leading into those creeks?
Yeah, I mean both can be very good. We're very fortunate on the Coosa River because we have a great population of bait fish as well as bass in themselves. So there's always going to be fish on the river, on those flats, stuff like that, where there's going to be current pushing on them. Especially this time of year, people are having to heat their houses. They're having to generate a little bit of current. But you're also going to have a population of fish back in those creeks, in those short little pockets right inside, stuff like that have followed the bait fish that have decided, to make that migration back. But always going to be a population of fish on the river and in the backs of the stuff. That's why we're very fortunate to be able to fish where we do.
I also know you like to play around in the winter a little bit and throw some crappie around out there. What are you hearing about crappie out there at Logan Martin and Lay?
Logan Martin, if I was going crappie fishing, I would probably be looking at some deeper docks, just wherever you find some channel swings that mainly the docks that have the most water on them. And if you do your live scope deal, get out there and troll, basically just follow the creek channel. I would probably start getting a major creek like Rabbit Branch or, Clear Creek, something like that, and start near the main lake and just start trolling, on the edges of the creek channel in the bends and stuff. And you're probably going to end up running into them somewhere. And then you want to go after them with minnows or the Bobby Garland deal like that. That's whatever you like to do. But that's how I'd go about trying to find them, like this time of year.
Getting close to time to fill that freezer again with some slabs. Wes, man, as always, we appreciate everything. Good luck this weekend. We'll talk to you later, brother.
Enjoyed it, guys.
Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, November the 4th. Hey, we're into a fall bite situation with some water temperatures dropping because of the air getting cold, and I know Gentry Gordy knows how to handle that situation down there at Lake Martin and at Jordan Lake. Gentry, what's going on at Jordan Lake these days?
I talked to a buddy of mine the other day, Dano, and he said, during the day is still tough. I know that's, it'll get better as the temperature keeps dropping and the water temperature gets down. But he said if you get a chance to get out there in the afternoon, the top water bite really comes alive. He said, during the day you can, of course you can always run up the river. We say it every week. But when that current's moving, them spotted bass love cold weather. He said you're as the grass is dying off, that's always been a big deal to me, is fishing that dead grass in the wintertime and even in the fall. But he said late in the afternoon when them shads start pushing back in them creeks at the mouths of some of them pockets, he said topwater bite just gets furious.
What kind of topwaters? Are you looking at buzz baits, walking baits, poppers? What do you like throwing around there?
No, he said like a big spook or, just a big walking bait.
Okay, well, let's turn our attention now to Lake Martin. I know that's a little bit of a different fishery. What's happening at Martin?
Yeah, so, over the years, Martin has gradually went to winter pool, but right now they're really drawing it down. It's falling a couple inches a day. So with the water temperatures cooling off, this is when you start looking at some of those bigger deep pockets and fish the middle of them. Hurl a big spinnerbait down the middle of it. Get it, or a shaky fish, a underspin, or a swim bait. Something you can target that 20-foot range. You'll notice them shad are fixing to start pushing back in there as that water's falling. Your bigger bites are going to come doing that. Mouths of some of your pockets, but you'll see as this water temperature drops, them shad will start making their way in further back into those pockets.
Are you looking at fish that are suspended, waiting for it to come in, and that you're wanting to fish in that? Is that a combination of the temperature falling and the water falling? Is that what you're seeing?
Yeah, absolutely a combination of both. So as the water's falling, those fish start to pull off the bank what little bit was up there. But as that shad starts moving in, they'll get right in the middle of some of them deeper pockets, and they'll just suspend below those bait fish, and that's when your underspins, your big spinner baits, even a crankbait, anything shad mimicking in some of those deeper pockets I think is fixing to come alive here at Martin.
Sounds like it could be a lot of fun. Look for that stuff. Your forward-facing sonar probably be a big help to you. Gentry, brother, we appreciate everything, man. Thanks for spending the time with us again today.
All right, guys. Y'all take care.
Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, November 4th. Hey, we're joined by Lee Pitts. Lee, I know we got some extenuating circumstances going on down here at Neely Henry that seem to be making the fishing pretty darn good, but navigation a little different. Let's talk about Weiss Lake and how that's going up there to start with, though.
Well, I would like to swap with you.
Oh.
Because I would rather have some tricky navigation than us catching more fish than what we're doing right now. Weiss is still tough this week. We've had those bluebird skies and a lot of winds on us. Even though the water temperatures are getting there where we want them, they're 62 to 64. With this little bit of cool and the wind we've had coming in, but the fish just really, really hadn't turned into that winter feed yet.
I know we just started getting some real cold temperatures overnight, and that water temperature is probably falling pretty quick. It seems to take a while for the fish to really kind of get where they're going. How much time do you think before we really see some good activity on the bass?
If we can get something that's stable right now, and I think that's the key to it, yeah, we need that cold weather coming in. It's always, you look at, we've been in the 80s and then it's 22, 23 degrees. So, they need a little bit of time to adjust. And now this weekend, we're getting back up summertime again. So I think once we can get some stable weather patterns and really at Weiss, we need that water to come on down. Speaking for myself, I would like to see that water come on down a little bit more. That way I can see these stumps more and be able to target them better. Still, a lot of fish aren't really chasing right now. That top water bite is trying to come on a little bit. But normally this time of year, man, you better have 3 or 4 buzz baits with you because they're going to break them. And it just hadn't been much of a top water bite yet. So I'm looking forward to that.
Okay, let's turn to Neely Henry. We're hearing reports of 6, 7s. We've even heard of an 8-pounder being caught. A lot of that is because of the water pushing the falling water pushing those fish to a little bit more accessible areas. What do you expect as this week wears on, the water starts to come back up, and we got the Coosa River Team Trail Championship next weekend?
I think what's going to happen on that, these fish, like you said, it's kind of limited the playing field a little bit, where these fish can go to. But with it coming back up a little bit and everything getting stable, I think these fish are going to get shallow. And I'm talking about dirt shallow.
Yeah.
So it looks like, and these guys, like I said, especially the Coosa Trail, they know how to catch them, know where they live, and they're not afraid to get up there in the dirt with them either. So I think you're going to see some good stringers of fish coming.
Yeah, and if you're looking for crappie bite right now, be careful, but get out there on the deeper docks. Look for some of those fish out there because that's not far behind either, I know. Lee, brother, appreciate everything. We'll talk to you again next week, man.
All right, guys. Hey, hopefully we'll have some good news for you next week.
Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, November 4th. Hey, we're joined by Tom Ott, who's going to tell us all about Guntersville fishing. What's going on up there, Tom?
Well, we got those spooks out of the way, so now it's time we can get back to doing some fishing, So no ghouls are out there or nothing like that. But the water temperature, we did get a little bit of drop in that water temperature, which that always kickstart the fish. This last week has really been good. That A-rig is really starting to pick up. Those fish are really starting to eat that. chasing this bait all over the lake. The lake is fishing, still fishing, maybe a little small, just because you got to travel, you got to move, cover a lot of water if you want to catch some larger fish. If you just want to go out and have fun, you can do that about on any grass line right now. But if you want to find those bigger fish, you're going to have to hunt a little bit for them. The flipping bite's really coming on. The frog bite, the mats are taking kind of a hit, but and that's just going to start dwindling, the cooler we get. But there's still some good mats out there. You can still catch some nice big fish. And I think really the secret to that is more on the edge where those things are starting to break up a little bit. Maybe even a buzz bait or whopper plop or something like that you could throw early in the morning all the way up through most of the day, especially when we get some clouds. The crappie bite's been really phenomenal. It's starting to pick up. It's just going to get better as well. So, I mean, right now, the fish are just, chasing bait and just moving with bait. I think the big thing for the bass, find the right size bait. For the crappie, same deal. You want to find smaller bait. So a lot of that's happening right now in the creeks, mouths of creeks, bigger bays that open up where you can get a little bit of schooling activity. But, the lake's fishing very good, guys, for sure.
So the crappie bite, is it a minnow thing, or are you able to go artificials and maybe do a little bit of dock shooting or some vertical jigging around the causeways?
I'm not too much, I'll be honest, I'm not much of a dock fisherman when it comes to the crappie. I kind of like to get out there and chase them around a little bit. We were able to put a nice mess in the boat last week, just following them around with jigs, watching them under the minnows. The big thing was that they were just chasing. They were just smaller wolf packs. Those are going to get bigger and bigger, but mainly right there at the mouths of those creeks when you're first starting to come in, that's where those fish are starting to congregate. And we had some really nice fish, and I just look for that to pick up the colder we get. We get some maybe down in the lower 60s, upper 50s, that bite will start to really pick up.
Yeah, I saw those pictures that you and St. Jennifer sent me. It looked like a lot of fun. I might have to come up there and join you. Brother,
Hey,
as
come
always,
on.
man, we appreciate it. Thanks for the time. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, guys, tight lines. We'll catch you out there next time.
Well, that'll wrap up our Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, November the 4th. Hey, thanks to the guys for everything that they do every week. Thanks for Wes for filling in this week. We appreciate it. Don't forget, we're here at Bucks Island for all your needs, whether you're looking for that boat that's the dream for the wintertime, getting ready to go fishing all winter, whether you're looking for a pontoon or whatever you got. We got Katie, Melissa, and Patrick to help you there. We got the parts you need with Pat and the guys in parts. And, of course, we got Misty and the team in service to help keep you on the water. We're here for you. You're the most important part of what we do around here. Without you, there is no Bucks Island. Thanks for spending the time with us, and we'll be back next week.